Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Everlasting Summer. Gonna hop right into our game here. So, still on day 1 apparently. And as we remember from last time, we met a wide variety of characters. Only one other guy so far, Electro Nick, who's been our boy through thick and thin. We got a very nice tsundere. We got a Swedish chick, a lolly, a 25-year-old, and a purple-haired girl. And I think we're going to meet one or two others, so that's pretty epic. And I believe it is dinner time, so we've returned to the canteen. We're about to fill our body with nutrients on day 1 here. Olga Dmitriev was there, standing on the porch. And this was the 25-year-old here, because we know her exact age. Okay, I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. I forget her voice. And oh yeah, my name is Semyon, but I'm making it Markapi for this walkthrough for obvious reasons. Markapi, what are you waiting for? Come, in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. I'm a hungry boy. Wow, that's a lot of characters at this camp for the 5 or 6 we've seen. Blue hair. Blue, maybe 2 or 3 blue hairs? That's pretty epic. The 2 of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I'd had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with the occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp's supposed to look like. Markapi, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Oh, man. Was this the tsundere's last name? What do I say? What do I say for this? Devashika. Hold it right there. Dude, her milkers are massive. Those are some massive freaking milkers, if I do say so myself. Just look at the girth of said milkers. Oh my goodness. Olga Dmitriev shouted at Eliza, who was passing by. Oh, that was the tsundere. Look, her milkers they're just dwarfed by these massive milkers. I mean, she's got a nice pair of milkers here, but compared to her, look at that's just insane. 1 milker is equal to her 2 milkers. That's insane. What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. All right. Eliza got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So, where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there, next to Ulyana. Man, these Russian names are messing with me, man. Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table, too. I had no other choice but to accept. Of course, there was the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curea, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of kompot. Okay, in common Russian language, cutlet is minced meat fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder, close to American patties. Kompot is a drink. It's just a pot of cum, actually, and you just drink it through a Burger King straw. Kompot is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Kompot in French. Well, we're learning things today, folks. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. Hey! What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Uliana, who was sitting next to me. Why didn't you play football with us, Baka? Because of my clothes, said I, pointing at the source of the problem. Oh, all right then. Eat. My pussy. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Get the fucker. Only she could have done it. No, more precisely, none but Uliana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you are careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. Attempt to take the cutlet, do not attempt to take... I need my protein. I was on a bus, and I was transported through space and time. Give me my protein. I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand. See, I don't have it. And indeed, Uliana's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy, we'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Uliana returned and handed me up the plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. That's not 20 grams of protein for this meal. That is disappointing. Muscle protein synthesis will not be maximized in this meal, unfortunately. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... What the? Some bug? No, not a bug. An insect. What's the difference between a bug and an insect? Like, what? And why is Doom Eternal music playing? And it's wiggling. Okay, these sound effects for this game are really good. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlies appear in my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Uliana seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door, laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. I ripped off her skull, cooming in her mouth, and then I dismantled her corpse, buried it in the summer camp, and got on the bus and left. That'll teach her to feed me insects. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I could catch the little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to grasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Uliana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Will we meet another girl, perhaps? Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to the camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose at random. I wandered for quite some time in the forest, and even thought of crying for help, but finally I saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On the one hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Or do they? This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it. An ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly, the driver could have just been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, this is not the place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know how I had got here at all, and where this here was. The fields and the woods, stretching towards the horizon, had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me so much with their carefree normality that I was simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. Although, I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all. And only after that would I start looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be some time later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? Just big chilling in front of the gate, I guess. Little Wawa here. Let's go, Wawa. It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind. Hey, it's our girl, our Swedish girl. Hello, what are you doing here so late? It was Slavia, standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. So, you didn't catch Oliana, did you? She smiled. I nodded disappointingly and sighed. No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. My stomach, a little stomach gargle there. Indeed, I had completely forgot about my hunger, but after these words of her, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a traitorous rumble. It's a pretty epic word. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's all right. I have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have keys to all facilities in this camp. How come? Well, I'm something like camp leader's aide here. I have camp aides. I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'd be worried otherwise. You go to the canteen, and I'll come in a minute. All right? All right. I really did not expect to find somebody aside from myself there at such a late hour, and that somebody was apparently trying hopelessly to open the door. Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Eliza. Lucky us. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said, Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something, Baka. Meaning, help me open the door. Why? 'Cause I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough. Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Uliana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true. She didn't. It's fine. Slavia will come now and... Nani? What? Guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then. And you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already. Having said that, Eliza disappeared into the night. And I stood there with my erection. In the dark. And what was the first one? Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything all right? Yeah. Why are you asking? No reason. It's a nothing. It wouldn't be better if I didn't tell her about Eliza. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Well, shall we go? As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything, or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my savior. Just turn that down a little bit. There we go. My dinner was simple. A few buns and a glass of kefir. I think that's like milk or something, right? Correct me if I'm retarded. No wonder. Or at least some dairy product. No wonder. I bet Hungry Pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia across the table. Gosh, I can't read. Wawa break time. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? No, a jest. She smiled. So, how did you like your first day in the camp? Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright. You'll soon get used to it. Slavia stared out the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least, she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? She asked, without any interest. Yeah, this place is so... I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. If the term life was applicable here after all, whatever. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yes. I love it here. It's a great. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get to. And you're worried yourself? Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely... I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitants? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sends chills down my spine and into my marrow. Normal, not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and a subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or on public transport. Not like a coworker at the next table in an open plan office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. All of them looked normal, as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides, but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry. I want to show you the camp, but was ran off my feet. What? Man, these sentences are weird. Or I'm retarded. Or both. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, and what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field. And what about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there, or let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, while for them it's normal? Maybe I was thrown into the past. Yeah, that could explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga Dmitrievna's by yourself? Of course I can. But why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably this question seems stupid because Slavia burst into good-natured laughter. That's a long-ass braid. That goes down to her pussy. Her pussy cat is what I meant to say. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. Fine. I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. Take the keys, leave the keys. I'm gonna take the keys. I mean, why would I not? Because I'll see her tomorrow. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll bring the keys tomorrow. I'd better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts gave me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. A sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp's leader's cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen, and tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camp, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what's going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl? Reading a book? Lena. I ain't gonna lie, Lena's pretty cute. There's a lot of cute girls in here. It's gonna be hard to choose. I might even have to, dare I say, pick based on personality. I know. Crazy, right? I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she even jumped. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and stared at the book again. So, what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. My options are praise the book or keep silent. Yeah, that was a great book. I've only ever seen the movie, but it was a great book. A good book. Thanks. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such a literature suits her very well. Lena didn't seem to be interested in continuing this conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you... No, she answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while? Why? And really, why? Maybe just because I was very tired and having company is better than being alone? Maybe I wanted to find something out from her. I carefully examined Lena. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to? Feel free. But if I'm bothering you... No, you're not. I can leave. Just say. Everything's alright. Okay then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? Lena hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Olyana, forgot her name. I bet if Olyana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled the Slavia's question and thought if it would be a good start for a conversation. Yes. My voice for her is just a soft whisper. A slight higher soft whisper. I know, I'm voice actor of the year over here. She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easily as Slavia. But there was something about her that attracted attention. Like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in the glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it still felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence, and I had no intention of asking her anything about the camp or this world in general. Beautiful night. Yes. How in a world would you start a conversation with her? It's late. I have to go. Yes, it's quite late. Good night. Night. There was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she is a typical shy and modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its own place in the massive list of mysteries about this camp, which I had started to put together in my head. A lazy evening. There's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed toward Olga Dmitrienov's cabin. I like how I just committed to her last name, even if it's wrong. Just going with it. The light in the house was on. Her giant milkers greeted me in the doorway. Hello, Hello, Markapi. You're quite late. Yeah. I went for a walk to look around the camp. All right. You will be sleeping here. She pointed her finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yeah. Is something wrong? We are out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I rather think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I was lost in thought for a moment. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly, with surprise and some offense in her eyes. A pioneer should respect their elders, Olga Dmitrievna said strictly. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? Oh, okay, I'm guessing I was transformed to a younger kid, is what I'm going with here. I'm guessing what that was hinting at. What's up, toots? Annoyance and a lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address adults appropriately. Yes, of course. There are a lot of strange things here. But this girl is just a couple years older than me. Or maybe even younger. But I decided not to argue. While just a few minutes ago I would have never called her an adult, I have to admit that she was also given a strong character. So yeah, I'm guessing like since our character is like a depressed guy who graduated college and he doesn't leave his room, he mostly just works online. I'm guessing like we were transformed into a teenager or something. So that's why she's like, oh, you're a snot-nosed kid. And she has just huge milkers. Like, look at those. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And in any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. That is the motto of Olga Dmitrievna was probably going to use. I climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brains had started a night shift. And they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. The bus... Clicked the scroll wheel again. Or I guess I scrolled the scroll wheel. The bus flew through my mind. And the square with the monument. The canteen, full of pioneers. And the malicious face of Ulyana. Slavia. Epic. Lena. And even recalling Eliza didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. Yeah, that's going to be a positive feeling for me, Chief. What if I'm here for good? Day 2 is where we are going to end the episode, which is a great place to end the episode. I was having a dream. It seemed like I was in some kind of vacuum with nothing but nothing around me. I'm just going to wait till we get to the day. Then I'll officially end the episode. But not only around, I was the only creature in the universe, as if the universe had returned to a state of singularity right before the Big Bang Theory. And something was just about to happen. Suddenly I heard a voice. I could not make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering something gently, as if soothing me. And then I realized it was the voice of that strange girl from the bus. The girl from the dream. But what is she trying to tell me? Who is she? There we go. That's where we end it. Waking up to the Blue Man Group face. I'm guessing that's some Russian guy. Russian figure. Save game. We are on day 2. We will get to day 2 in episode 4. A lot of numbers here. I know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, please, I'm begging you from the deepest part, bottom part of my heart, help me find a girlfriend. And bye-bye.